Welcome to Girls Run These Worlds in this Misspent Youth series, Y2K, Youths to Control. I'm Abby, my pronouns are she, her, and tonight we'll be playing Misspent Youth, originally by Robert Bull, and using the Fall in Love, Not in Line edition by Frag and Unicorn Games. Misspent Youth is a very open system with two simple requirements: an oppressive authority, and our teenage YOs, or youthful offenders, ready to fight back against the tyranny of a world gone wrong. Because of the nature of a story about rebellion, please be advised that our game tonight will contain possible content warnings for death, loss, grief, suppression of truth, firearms, social control, loss of identity, and history erasure. If that means you can't join us for our adventure tonight, please take care of yourself and we'll see you with our future game offerings. Now, in the meantime, we have some story to catch up on, but before we do, I'll have our players go ahead with introductions. If you'll please give your name and pronouns as well as a little bit about your youthful offender. Go ahead and start, Jilly.
Hi, I'm Jilly. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me most places on the internet at Oh Look It's Jilly. Jilly is spelled with a G. It is in some direction, I'm guessing. Um, I'm playing Alice, whose pronouns are she, they. Alice is an engineer and is able to interface, has an affinity with technology. Recently, that affinity has been developing as we came into contact with a secret underground base and the AI that runs it. Um, and stuff is happening. That let me say. I've sold out a little bit, which we'll be addressing very shortly, which means that some of my qualities have turned a little bad.
Oh, don't worry, there's plenty of selling out left to do.
Yay!
All right, Natalie, go.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Natalie. I use she, they pronouns. Tonight I am playing Casey, they, them, and they are our scrappy scavenger boy who is just super optimistic and wanting to see this rebellion make the way through. They're all about let's achieve this with hope, and we'll see what happens if that ever sells out. I don't know. Could happen. See.
It's hard. It's hard to see some of this go down. All right, Sophia, go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia, also known as Nerdy Titty. Pronouns are she, her, and tonight I'll be playing Quinn. Whose pronouns are also she, her, and she is our wilderness scout.
Mm-hmm. And we very much miss that Ark is not able to make it this round for us. If you've been watching, you understand part of that, but we look forward to playing with her in the future. All right, as for our setting, well, if you want the full story, please check out our previous episodes. It's a very dirty tale. Suffice it to say that the Reclaimers are descendants of the members of the Reclamation Operations Workforce, a pre-end international agency tasked with securing advanced technology against the fall of civilization. But when the end finally came, they instead kept the technology for themselves, and the Reclaimers have spent the last 300 years building themselves up as an order of quasi-mystic technicians that can still access what advanced cybernetic machines and data systems remain functional. You know, like Alice. Not quite like Alice. They are the protectors of the city, so named because its citizens are the only humans left post-collapse. The Reclaimers are a lie, though, a story about heroes that saved humanity when instead they made an elite kingdom for themselves out of the survivors. Finding a damaged AI, Brenna, built of the journals, field notes, and last thoughts of a murdered pre-end researcher, our youthful offenders took the name Y2K from Brenna's disjointed recollections of a time in history when people feared the loss of their technology. Now, 2 months ago, Y2K fled the expedition camp with a stolen AI, a wounded friend, and the wreckage of their lives behind them, and they had only one clue, a signal that Brenna showed them that she'd found on their network before she disrupted it, and that was across the mountains, there were signs of life. They found the signal emanating from a village of clearly antiquated, our agrarian lifestyle. They met the citizens of Haven's Reach, farmers, crafters, and townspeople that went about a fairly simple, day-to-day life under the belief that the Reclaimers were out there and rescued them, with only a few authority figures even aware of the existence of the city. Now, it's been a couple weeks here, and having met local teenagers Eli, Max, and Harper, sheltered by Eli's mother, Maura, and Mayor Davis, Y2K has found a place to plant the seeds of their rebellion, driving doubt into the Reclaimer forces with words of truth and change, and outwitting others by turning their own tech against them. They discovered the secret of Haven's Reach, which was centuries ago. The Reclaimers built this farming village over the remains of Base 127, a pre-end military base full of antique but powerful weapons, some capable of vast destruction. Avis, the guardian AI of the base, as mentioned by Alice, had been dulled by time and despair until finding a connection possible with Alice and Brenna and their connection to technology. Now, I have a couple questions before we begin. For each of you, what is something that you found here that you regret discovering? Go ahead, Alice.
I think at the moment, Alice regrets discovering her parents' papers because I don't think that they've given her any like comfort in. I think what she wanted to believe they would say is not what they said. And the situation, whether there are nuances to it or not, is not what she was hoping.
Understood. Casey.
Um, I think for Casey, it would be just discovering the sheer amount of ways that are actually in and out of this place and just how much more exposed we actually are. And with the number of people that are on our side, he's heavily concerned that how do we even protect ourselves if a lot of them are going to, like a lot of the reclaimers show up. So it's really stressing Casey out.
An important thing. Quinn.
I think for Quinn, it's a regret of like finding that like maybe the local area maybe doesn't have as many resources as Quinn would like if they had to rely on it to be self-sufficient. It's not as good as Quinn would like.
Yeah. I mean, it's supporting a culture out here on its own. They've certainly used some resources along the way. Okay. Well, now that we know the regrets, what is here that's worth protecting? We'll go with Alice again.
I think that Alice, I mean, Alice likes these people, right? I think that Alice thinks that they are worth protecting and she does not like the deception of what has occurred here. And I also think that the treasure trove of information is very tempting to her. And she doesn't want the reclaimers to have it, but if she gets to have it, that's not bad.
Understood. Casey, what is here worth protecting?
um, and also, I guess the general agree, like definitely the people. But Casey also sees all the skills that are just unique to the people here that need to continue to thrive and be passed on. Because he never thought farming was such a difficult thing until he saw it firsthand being here. So he thinks it's just those skills of those people are also worth bringing on into the future.
Okay. And Quinn.
I mean, big picture is yeah the people, but I think the real answer for Quinn is Eli.
Okay. All right. Well, last episode, the team faced a dark night of the soul. Maura became ill. The town doctor attempted to shame Quinn from loss of the medicine from the couriers and asked her to find herbal remedies and then leave town with maps and years of notes about the local plants and wildlife as a sort of payoff. What did Quinn do?
Uh, Quinn struck out on her own to find the supplies that more needed and brought them back herself with the help of Eli.
Well, I mean, there was all that information regarding, the wilderness out here, all the questions that Quinn had about what's here. Why not take the easy way out?
Because it would have left Quinn and Mora shackled to the Reclaimers. We're the only ones that can help. See? We're the ones who gave Quinn the information to help. So doing it herself without their help is to free them in a way from the Reclaimers.
Okay. All right. We'll keep that in mind. Casey was faced with an offer from Vance Ristic, a smuggler who was not from the city or Haven's Reach, but lands beyond the border of Reclaimer territory. He wanted Casey to be his new partner and come away from danger because the Reclaimers have sent an attack force to come and take the town. What did Casey do?
Casey had a conversation convincing Vance that, our hopes and what we're fighting for is far more worth than just continually selling to the reclaimers, that the reclaimers are just gonna or are using Vance or using everybody, and that's not worth selling to them.
Why not take the offer for somebody who seems to try and understand them and offers the possibility of a people far away from here?
Because for Casey, the freedom of just themselves isn't worth the betrayal of everyone else. If I could help free everyone else, then that would make it all worth it.
Okay. Well, Alice discovered that they were not the first person that their parents had given this special affinity to merge and speak to tech with, and that subject one, a woman named Trula, her fate was one that Alice is beginning to see some symptoms of. And Engineer Lawson promised to help Alice for the sake of their father. What did Alice tell Lawson?
Um, Alice essentially told Lawson that their kind of help was not the kind of help that Alice wanted. Um, there was a lot of sniping generally from both sides, I think it's fair to say.
Mhm.
But essentially, Alice does not believe that Lawson is being truthful in their intentions. Um, so thanks, but no thanks, but without the thanks.
Got it. And how does Alice feel about some of the new information that she's discovered? You mentioned the regret, but anything else?
I mean, stressed. Um, there's a lot to do, right? Is I think what Alice feels is motivated but overwhelmed.
Of course. And Lux. Lux's rich and powerful family had paid for the best to come and rescue their daughter from this foolish revolution, defying the assertion that she was a delicate and spoiled child who didn't belong here. Lux was finally just forcibly kidnapped and taken back to the city, leaving her friends with a fading sense of the powerful technology used and signs of a struggle across Maura's house. It's what they do. The Reclaimers reclaim. Now they're coming for Haven's Reach, base 127, Brenna, and U3. A reminder to my players and the audience, in Misspent Youth, each authority has systems of control that must be defeated and exploits that the YOs can use against them. They have authority figures who represent the authority in struggles with the characters. As of today, Y2K has taken out the significant systems of control of their listening. Where else will you go? Temptation to join, and they have the weapons. The Reclaimers are on their last legs, but they have the remaining system of control that using tech untrained is social taboo. The teens have built the exploits of the Reclaimers' technology is old and unreliable. Brenna has access to databases the Reclaimers do not. The Resistance has allies in Haven's Reach. Avis allows Y2K in base 127, and now they have control and information over the supply lines. Remember the friendship questions. It's been a hard 2 months. Your beliefs have been broken and reforged, but at a cost. It is time to remember your friendship. Alice, your pride has turned to arrogance, and your sneaky quality has deepened to untrustworthiness. You concern people. Quinn, your thrill seeking is now nihilistic and has a desperate edge to it. In this rebellion, you know you have each other. Who will ask the friendship question to Alice, and what part of them will they heal with the answer?
Casey is asking the question. And I think we said for your untrustiness. So my question is, in this time, what have we done that has humbled you?
I think that Alice has gotten very used to being able to access and exploit whatever kind of systems she wants in order to kind of unlock information. But I think that Alice has been reminded as we've been like preparing for this that while in the digital space and in the real space her meddling can have consequences, she isn't she isn't scrappy for lack of a better term like Casey. They have know-how that she does not have. And so I think that there are times when Alice has come up with a very complicated solution to a simple problem, and Casey kind of has to just be like, but what about this? And kind of circumnavigates the whole issue.
Casey is a simple boy.
Casey is the sweetest of them, so we love them.
Well, I think with people who are, cause like Alice is arrogant, right? Canonically now. And I think that with arrogant people who have great faith in their own abilities, sometimes they don't see the simple solution, the forest for this, don't see the forest for the trees. Um so it makes sense to me that Alice would be like, okay, we could do these like 8-step plan to accomplish this thing. And Casey's like, or we could just go through the door.
Yeah. Look, there's one step. Blink.
Right.
So it feels like in order to bring untrustworthiness back down to sneaky, we're removing some of the, I suppose, the uncanny levels of overthinking and the some of the stranger behaviors that Alice has developed.
Yeah, I think that Alice has the. I mean, this also could apply, I guess, to people, right? Is like it. We could do this and this and this to steal this thing, and Casey's like, or we could just ask them.
Yep, absolutely. So, it's been 2 weeks again from the night that you all came home and found Lux gone. You've been working on the problem, but also you have sadly much bigger issues. Casey came back with information from Vance regarding the will of the Reclaimers to come and retake this town by force. It seems as though they, while they do not wish to lose the population, they are willing to do so. The base has higher priority. And so that is what Vance was aware of and why he so badly wanted Casey to come away out of this, because he, at least the information he's provided, says that war is literally coming. While the Reclaimers do not have the ability to send a large force, it will be well armed and they will intend to retake the town by force. But you have some time. You have a couple weeks. What do you get up to?
Quinn spends a little of the time practicing with the rifle, but I think Quinn's also going to be is now a little vain and stuff, and I think that's also for Quinn being a little overconfident in her abilities. Um, so I think she's sorry. There's a kitten chewing on my foot. Um,
In
The
in
violence has
in the
started
kitten's
already.
defense, you deserve it. Let's be honest.
she sure thinks so. But Quinn is I think then in that case just spending time with Eli and stuff rather than preparing because Quinn's thinks that they already got it.
Well, you definitely recognize that Eli is also in preparation mode. For everything that you've seen, he's been becoming more aggressive ever since the realization that the town was almost a camouflage or a side thought to when all of this was designed. That everything that he considers of value is disposable, and he is one of the members of town. The town is somewhat divided. There's been the people who have already, while they were planning to head across the mountains towards the city, there are some that have simply already fled town, either because they feel confident in the ability to wait it out in the wilderness. Not sure about those odds. Or those that are already beginning the trip across the mountains, probably somewhat unprepared. But again, it's that or choose to stay and fight. Now, a larger percentage of town is staying, though. They have everything, as with Eli, everything they care about is here. And the messages that you all have been providing, the proof, the just the progress of time has helped really grow amongst Haven's Reach the message that the Reclaimers are not to be trusted, and this oncoming idea of a fight is just reinforcing this. So a lot of town is actually coming to prepare, but it's one of the things that is kind of a struggle. They are concerned about the use of the weapons that you have claimed. There's still the social taboo in place that the use of these it's a more complicated version. A joke occurs in my mind of the "you'll shoot your eye out" kid from the Christmas Story, but it's think of it in a serious way of somebody who's seriously unable to really bring themselves to use the things that are important to their own survival. Uh, it's not an issue for some, but most of those are people that are not on your side. In fact, you have distinctly not seen Ramirez, Overseer Ramirez, while previously he'd been going about town just avoiding you or flipping you off last time you saw. He has at this point been isolated on one side of town in his compound, and you are fairly positive up to no good. Same with the engineer, actually. Engineer Lawson has also not been seen. While seen very rarely, or much more rarely than um, Overseer Ramirez, Engineer Lawson is definitely just in full recluse mode. And you know for a fact, Alice, that they are well aware of the activity in the base.
I mean, yeah, I very intentionally locked Lawson out of the base
Correct.
last time. Um, I think in the interim, Alice would have definitely filled them in on that in terms of like basically I locked them out. They weren't happy about it. Is what happened.
You feel like they're not going to take that line down either.
No.
Mayor Davis is again, sort of rallying the town, like rising to the occasion of, while previously she had been more willing to sit this out, the fact that there are soldiers actively coming to attack what she still feels is defensively her town, is sort of changing her urge to wait back and driving an actual leadership activity on this. So Mayor Davis is helping people. While again, battle is not her subject, she understands town resources and is trying to route them in a way that's important. Mm-hmm.
I want to. I think at some point Alice will have a conversation with Avis.
Okay.
Um,
Avis is very easy to reach. It's like he's, it's like it's right over your shoulder.
I want you to know that I don't intend to try and access your missile systems or any of the thing the things, the explodey thing, the bad explodey things. However, that does not mean that I'm not going to threaten people with them.
Ah, I see. You intend to engage in deception and intimidation.
Listen, I'm very short. I have to do work with what I got.
This is not judgment, Alice. I firmly agree that this is to be protected, and whatever means you use, I understand.
I just wanted to be clear on that fact so you're not like, oh, Alice and her super smart computer brain are gonna try and like. I'm very good at what I do, but I have no intention of like trying to do that. I don't think that I should have missiles. I think it would be fun, but I think it would be bad. So
Do you, do
that's
you wish me to isolate you from those systems?
maybe that's a good idea.
Very well. Then I will lock them out of your access.
Probably for the best. But I'm still gonna definitely threaten people with them. Um, and I think that I at some point over those 2 weeks, when the three of us are together, Alice is just gonna say like, we could threaten them with missiles. Like, is that a thing that we should do?
I mean, we have them.
We
Why not?
technically have them. Technically.
Yeah, we're sitting on them. They're our little nuke egg. Um, I'm yeah. I mean, you've convinced them that their tech when they've come before was bad. I'm sure you can.
That was really fun. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So you convince them. Yeah, we'll blow you up if you dare. You dare?
Like, I want to be clear. I can't actually, but like, I think it would be an effective threat because it seems like they don't want to get blown up. Is my thought. I think we should exploit their natural fear of getting blown up. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, just be like, remember, we're kids with your explosives that you left here.
Yep.
What do you think we're going to do?
I mean, I think it's a good backup threat. You know, if reason does not prevail, and reason so rarely, in my experience, prevails. Because otherwise, I don't really know what to threaten them. I mean, we could, I guess we could threaten them with telling everybody things, but we have no guarantees that everyone would believe us. Maybe Brenna could prove it.
Ooh, do you think there's a way we could like, I don't know, amplify some sort of like speaker system?
Are you saying that we can't stop the signal?
Ah.
You hear a
That might be
faint
copyrighted.
chime.
Legally distinct. Let's be clear. Legally
Haha.
distinct.
You hear a faint chime, and the little like Brenna hologram appears of the. Was someone asking for me?
Casey had an idea.
Hello, Casey.
Yeah. Hello. Hope you're doing okay in your electrical box. I was saying if there was like a way to amplify any sort of audio system, I guess is those I know words, and like get you to prove that what we say about everything going on here is true and it was history and we're bound to repeat it because the reclaimers are dumb. I'm smart.
Of course. I suppose the closest that I can think of with the various systems I've accessed would be some of the base's original, I suppose, audio outputs. Uh, those would be across the scope of the town. Some are too old or damaged, but several are still quite in use from the signals that I've registered from the overseer's compound.
Hmm.
If you knew what you wanted me to say, I could certainly assist. If they are my personal journals, I would like to know why.
I don't think that we need necessarily your personal journals, but I think it would be helpful for them to have what I mean, kind of what you told us the first time we met about what happened to you, if you would be willing to share that.
I believe so. I I can do so. Yes. And you see the wind that is never there but seems to exist in her hologram flow around the gown that the the pale woman with her one eye just sits and thinks, is staring off into the distance, but nodding. So you go about town. You are bringing supplies, working with people, and those that at least feel like they can engage with it in the firearms. You see an odd piece of art that keeps appearing, which is a stick figure inside of a much more full drawing of a girl with pink hair, and you catch that Harper, one of the young women that Eli was mentioning, a teenager in town, has been drawing that.
Why?
You think it resembles Lux?
Oh, it's such a shame Lux isn't here. Lux would love this.
Yeah, I think Lux left quite an impression on the people here. I know she was talking a lot before she got kidnapped or taken.
I mean, to be absolutely fair, Lux talks a lot all the time. But, you know,
Yeah, I miss it. I'm left to my thoughts too much. Her talking distracted.
well, I mean, what we do need to do, we should record this so that Lux can plan a merch line,
Ah,
like stickers, right? Like
yeah.
pins.
Notebooks.
Yeah.
A new special kind of bag.
And a bag shape.
Oh
Little
God!
backpacks.
Lined with a pattern.
Revolution merch.
That's how you win it. You make the merch and the people come.
You know, all this time Lux has been struggling over the things on her bag. It didn't occur to us that what she needs is a bigger bag. That never occurred to us.
But you are still trying to find a good way to deal with that. How are you planning to help Lux anyway?
I suppose with Brenna and Avis, we're still trying to pinpoint where that teleportation went. I think we had a general idea, but
it went to the city. That part you had. It's just that that particular technology is not one that Avis had available. Avis thinks that it can build something like that, but that would take time. Or help Alice build something like that. Avis doesn't really have hands. Avis can borrow Alice's hands. It's an idea. Quinn, you are traveling around town just trying to work out different resources available. Honestly, also just checking the perimeter sometimes. And it's early morning when you run across something unexpected. The forest is still, there is no sound of animals and activity, and you see what looks like a boot sticking out of the underbrush.
Am I by myself?
Are you traveling with anyone else?
I think she would be, like, if she, especially if she's checking the perimeter, she'd be with somebody else. At least somebody who can run back into town and sort of sound the alarm.
Perfect. You know that at least for traveling out here, most comfortable individuals are Max and Casey, though Eli will always be glad to assist if you ask him.
I think for this, I think it's Max, just because Max has shown a willingness to fight.
Got it. Okay. So you are traveling with Max and spot this, and Max immediately, uh, kind of freezes. And it was like, do you want to check it out or should I? The other one is definitely going to watch the woods.
You check out the woods. I'll cover you, or you check that out. I'll cover you.
Okay. And you see Max creep forward and basically start pulling aside the bracken and like forest bushes and just kind of pulls back in surprise and horror. Yo, that is messed up. Oh, it's the marshal. Shit. And you come to understand, and if you come over and see, it is the
Yeah,
dead body of Marshall Garrett.
we got to get back to town. Back in town, we got to start uh, sounding the alarm.
You see a note pinned to the clothing, and Max is nodding, but Max grabs it and flips it up, and you just see a single word written: traitor. Yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, yeah, that's not good.
And you don't have to tell Max twice. Max takes off, long legs going, and just starts hammering back into town.
Yeah, Quinn's right behind him.
Okay. Uh, they intend to go to like the actual town center. Are you stopping by the farm, or are you going with directly to the center of town?
Uh, I would stop by the farm
Okay.
just because I
So
want to make
yeah.
sure everybody hears.
Mhm. So you find the rest of Y2K. You find Eli and Maura. Maura is home again. Is feeling much better, but has also sort of just come to the the level of like watching over and getting ready to, like everybody else, defend their land. Max, like, you know, pats you on the arm. It's like, I'll be in town, and runs off.
And then Quinn sort of bursts in to the house and just, we got a problem. They're coming. Um, we found the marshal dead with a note pinned to him.
Oh dang.
What kind of note?
It just said traitor.
Doesn't that seem like it's someone from here that killed him?
I wouldn't. I mean, it could be, but uh, in that case, why hide it when you'd probably have the support of the people who don't agree with the marshal?
Well, you don't leave a note if you're ashamed of what you've done.
That's true. It just. I would bet on it being the Reclaimers.
Yeah, I'm thinking they must know like who is scouting around, keeping eyes on the borders. Uh, they want to obviously send a very simple but clear message. And they want to disrupt, I guess, our trust, because if we start thinking that it might be someone on the inside, well, who do we start looking at? We know for sure that like what's their names are have been very absent from the public.
Well, they know that as news spreads, they are going to be less and less popular with the people. So it seems like they're waiting for backup.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that that backup's here.
I mean, they might be. I haven't sensed anything, right? Like an influx of technology in the area.
No, but also it is very quiet. It is, for what you are used to, what you're kind of expecting almost. It is it is very quiet. It's like when Quinn was listening for animals and heard nothing. That's kind of what you're feeling.
Oh, Quinn, I remember you always mentioning from your scouting training that when animals go quiet, that means a predator is around.
Yeah. And then I think in this case, it's maybe not predator so much as multiple, a large group of people has everything either hiding or staying away.
Alice, you're pretty. I mean, let's call it like it is. You're pretty arrogant. You think that you would absolutely hear something if it was out there, unless somebody's blocking you.
Has someone put parental controls on me? I want to find out if someone has put parental controls on me.
Are you running a diagnostic?
I want to run a diagnostic.
Awesome. Okay. You know, you and Brenna, and even with some help from Avis, you start checking all your systems, and while you're seeing some very interesting new developments, newish, it's still sort of the merging of different systems that you were seeing. You've been working on closing that port, but it's very persistent. Um, However, but I suppose that's actually like what makes it so easy for you to reach out to systems, is that you sort of have a welcome mat on your brain. But no, you're not seeing anything that seems to be shutting you off.
Do I have like a dampening field?
You think that town is quieter than usual.
The town is quieter than you. The town is quieter than usual. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Hmm. Well, I have a
Something had-
communicator thing from Vance. Should we try and reach out to him?
That's not the worst idea. I do like that idea actually. I mean, Vance is shady, but like shady can work for us. So
I'm like
no
his
offense.
favorite unfavorite kid. Okay.
Okay.
Vance, over.
You hear a high-pitched and very disquieting whistling static come back from that thing.
Okay, I got it. Ow.
We are in a bubble.
Do they like maybe make like I don't know an energy net and cut us off from everything else?
I mean, whatever its shape, it's bad.
You remember somebody who had a lot of communication equipment in this town.
Lawson has a lot of communication equipment in this town.
No. You were in the overseers and realized that it was mostly communication networks.
I mean, let's be clear on something. The overseer really, really does not like me.
Correct.
So if someone like I'm saying if we're gonna heist communication equipment or work out what's going on with communication equipment, the overseer seeing me is gonna be an obstacle to that.
Oh,
Casey, the overseer doesn't hate you yet.
no, he hasn't even met me.
Yeah.
He'll let me
mean,
eventually,
Quinn-
but he hasn't met me.
Quinn, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't threatened to call. Well, I was gonna say threatened to call HR, but actually, I did that. But maybe he hates you less than he hates me.
Maybe.
While you're doing this, you see Eli sort of who's been listening but like looking out the window sort of go alert. Uh and like he's stumbling for words, and then finally he's like, "Fire,
What?
fire, mom, fire!" And looking out the window, you see the sunflower crops further off at the end. There is heavy black smoke coming from the edge of the field.
We should go. Can I talk to the computer? Is there like an emergency, like press button in case of fire?
Like sprinkler
Like-
system?
Oh, again, you are in a highly agrarian system. They do not have a sprinkler system. You can, if you are attempting to hijack the irrigation system to do like fire control, you
That
can
seems
try.
good. That's good. I
Okay.
mean, I'll ask permission. Like, can I try and hack your sprinklers or irrigation system, Eli? Please, thanks.
Eli is like clearly getting ready to just head out and deal with
Cool.
the situation.
I'm
but it's
just
like,
gonna do it and ask permission later.
the okay, when you reach out with your machine affinity, you realize the irrigation system is part of the town infrastructure that's under control of Engineer Lawson because they handle all the water.
I knew that the first time we failed to neutralize Lawson, I knew it was gonna come back and bite me.
So, yeah, Eli is out the door and headed towards the fields.
Alright, I'm fast, so I'll be following after.
Okay.
Yeah, so is Quinn.
Can I hack Lawson's system?
You cannot from here. Lawson has had plenty of time to
I
get used to
know.
you.
Like, how? I shouldn't go and like. I should though, right? I should.
If you are saying, should I go by myself to the compound? That is a you choice.
I mean, I think I would run it by like the people who I know, because I'm not reckless. That's not one of my words.
That's fair. Well, they're halfway across the field, Alice, so make a
Hey,
plan.
I'm gonna go hack a thing. Okay, bye. Um,
Okay.
What?
Important question for those of you who went to the field. Did anyone take a weapon?
Quinn would have.
Okay. As you approach the area, we'll come back to you, Alice, I promise. As we
well, do
approach
I see people? Do I
Huh?
see a threat before I leave, or am I just? I mean, I'm happy to do either. I just don't want to
It's
ruin your vibe.
no. It's however you choose to do. The fire is at the far edge of the property, and it is, like I said, just like a football field's worth of sunflowers. So it is a distance away.
So okay, I don't see it. That's fine.
Okay. Those of you that are rushing to the point of flames, though, will begin to see people. It's almost like when you see people walking through a cornfield. There are people moving through the stalks and using it as cover, and you know immediately that the reclaimers are here.
I think as soon as Quinn sees them, Quinn's yelling, "Down! Get down! Get down!"
Yep. Yep.
And Eli does as you say, but you feel the strain of him wanting to rush forward because this is his crop. This is his family livelihood that's just burning in front of him. What are we gonna do? Quinn, what do we do?
We're gonna have to fight. And I would like to stand up.
Okay. You are standing up and you do not see anybody that you recognize immediately, but you can certainly go against the squad as an authority figure. We will go ahead and move to the struggle then. The What is your hope in this situation, please?
Uh, my hope is to keep them out of the town.
Okay, so you are attempting to drive this squad back into the forest.
Yeah.
That works. That gives you time to get back in Warren Town. Okay. The authorities' objective in this is going to be to cut you off from doing so and destroy the farm. Right. The authority marks 2 as the beginning of the struggle.
All right. So because Quinn's goal is to drive them back, she'd like to find like decent cover and start shooting into the sunflowers field. In their direction. Hit them if she can, but she wants them to know, like, hey, we're here, we're ready to defend, and
Got
we
it.
see you.
So Quinn is doing a shock and awe at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. Got it. What are you using?
Thrill.
Okay. Oh, you. That is a fun question. Yes, you did get thrills back. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sense of energy and that air of danger that while this is important, it is still kind of driving you. All right. The authority will go ahead and mark 12. They immediately dive for cover. You start hearing the squad giving orders to each other. And, we have met resistance from the town folk. We are under we are under two. It's like it's a reminder that we are under two. You know, we have lethal if necessary orders. And they start trying to find you.
Casey stands up.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Quinn's lead, as I had a pretty wicked idea, and hopefully it works out. So let me see if I can, as I dart around, go another direction. I rolled 5.
All right. What are you using for 5?
I am using fast.
Okay.
So I'm keeping low, but going in opposite direction from Quinn. And my idea was, after hearing the high pitched squeal out of my communication device that Vance gave me, it's dark. Who knows what we could be throwing? Who knows what we have? So I'm going to turn it on and throw it in the direction that we saw the bodies to make them think that maybe it's something scarier as the high pitched whiz goes.
Yep, there's just a screaming high pitch, just teeth rattling whine of a noise that you throw out, and with the way the fire is jumping and in the distance and the flickering and people moving through the sunflowers, it is effective for sure. All right. Let's see what the authority does. The authority has rolled 2. Which means right now this squad is about to push forward and destroy this farm and shove you all back.
I'll sell out.
Okay. It's prettier. What are you selling out?
Also, my fast and be efficient.
Okay. Got it. So tell me what that looks like as you drive the squad back.
Yeah. So after that initial throw, hearing the high pitched whiz, I just continued to move, almost developing like a pattern of movement in my head, snatching up other additional objects about the same size, like rocks and stuff, and chucking them in different directions, creating distractions and trying to force them to freak out amongst all the things coming to get them to run back.
Okay. Absolutely. And Eli picks up on what you're doing and, basically starts throwing things, and it takes so much energy not to just yell in rage while doing it, but it's the, causing them to think that there's more of you than there are, and you go ahead and hear them calling the retreat of, fall back to sector B, report in, and they pull away. The fire's still going. It's not going to get any worse, but you have bigger problems.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Is there? Oh, I was gonna say, is there water nearby? Like I don't know, like troughs of water or something, like that we could like scoop buckets of. And
the irrigation system is, as Alice discovered, locked down and part of the actual town infrastructure. You have 2 options. You can either you are, again, as a wilderness scout, well aware of fire breaks. You can literally cut away parts of the sunflower field until the fire has nowhere else to spread to. Or you can break the irrigation system in a way that will start spraying water everywhere, but will also severely damage the dang thing.
I think Quinn's instinct would be to go for a fire break.
Okay. So yeah, you start like literally just cutting, and honestly, you have a pulse weapon, so you can actually just start, firing away at the ground, at the stalks, just tearing up like huge swaths of field with the force of this thing. and you can create a fire break, though there's still that feeling of like Eli's like, I can do this if you have to go, like somebody needs to go tell town.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
fast. I'll go.
All right. So Casey takes off running. Quinn, you and Eli stay here to work on this. And after a time, you know that you are separated from your friends and there's great danger everywhere, but the farm will make it. Alice, you head into town.
I'm trying to get control of the irrigation system because I don't want them to set more shit on fire. So
You know that you are going to have to go to Engineer Lawson's compound to take any of that.
let's go.
Yeah. So you are running into town, and as you do so, you are starting to hear, basically sounds of alarm from other areas. There's runners coming in from several areas of town, basically stating that that there are forces coming in, that they, while they're not surrounded, they are definitely seem to be attempting some sort of pincer. So you're seeing things coming in from Maurer's farm, and you're also seeing directly across town. There seem to be people coming in. The problem is that systems that are intended to basically keep wild animals and problems out of the town are off. And they're never off. And you think you know
Okay,
why.
sure. Okay, so we reactivate those and turn on the water. Let's go.
Okay. So you are coming up to the compound, and you see Max like hammering on the door, yelling, just it's like, you rotten old bastard! Get the hell out of here! Let me in! Oh, I can help us! And like just hammering and hammering.
Alice is gonna go closer. I'm sneaky, so I'm. Oh, bye, cat. I love you.
Bye, kitten.
The cat has been reclaimed by the void. Yes.
Mm.
But I'm gonna go out and I say, keep doing that. That is a great distraction. And I'm gonna. So I've previously climbed in a skylight, right, of this place, and I was not very good at it before. So I'm gonna try and replicate that, but I am sneaky again. So shout out to Casey for making me sneaky again.
Okay, so like Max is like, okay, and just like goes back to hammering. And so you're taking this opportunity to try and climb up through the window.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. You are. I mean, it's not your finest hour. You're super glad that everyone's very distracted, but you're up. You're in. You got it. You start hearing that hum of equipment again. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're out of the dampening because you're in here now.
Right.
And so you have like this buzz of activity. In fact, you notice that two things are happening with Lawson's equipment. One, uh, the town is in lockdown. Like all of the systems, the irrigation, the water, all of the security is in just full shutdown.
Sure.
They've literally thrown open the gates to town, and he's left everybody to the fade. There's also a lot of activity happening elsewhere towards Avis. Right
Oh, that's so
now,
bad.
Avis is under attack, but he's not. But they're not noticing because they're paying attention to you. And
Okay,
you just
so
hear
can I
frantic
tell
tapping.
Avis? Can I
Oh, Avis is
contact
absolutely with you. In fact, it's with the weird jamming silence throughout town. Avis and Brenna are the two things that have stayed with you because they are connected to you now.
Okay, Avis, you concentrate on your thing. I'm gonna be with you as soon as possible. I've gotta break everything first. Um, but I'll be right there. Can I can't help like shore up Avis's firewall, right? Like that's just a thing I'd have to go there for, right?
Avis's firewall is incredibly complicated because it's a person. So
Sure. I'm
it's-
gonna assume that Avis can look after themselves for a little bit, and
it
hopefully,
gives a sound of ascent, and you immediately feel less of a presence of Avis.
okay.
And then there's
that's
some
fine.
mild cussing from the other room as Lawson realizes that the system has changed and immediately goes on the attack in a different manner.
Great. I would like to tase Lawson.
Okay, so you stand up.
I stand up with my
Okay.
taser that was given to me.
It's time for
Yeah.
taser time. Okay, your YO Hope is to taser Engineer Lawson. Okay. Lawson has the hope of severing your link to Avis
Sure.
and basically shutting that system down. Disable Avis. All right, the authority will mark 3 as you jump out with your taser.
My taser. Okay. Roll. That's 9.
Okay. I take it you're using your sneaky.
I'm using sneaky. Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Casey.
Would you
Got
say
you.
anything as you jump out at this person, or is it just a
Shout out to Casey.
I
Got
think
it.
I say aha, and then after it hopefully does something, I say thanks, Casey.
100%. Lawson whips around and yells, "System continue break matrix," and gets up and starts dodging you. Like put the chair in between and authority. There we go. And I will mark the 11.
Okay. I'm gonna try and
You have exploits as well if you do not want to use your own traits, but remember you can't sell out an exploit.
Sure. I mean, at the moment, I think I want to use smart. And I want to like try and find the big red button, the metaphorical big red button. That
Got it. What
and
do
I
you
want-
roll?
I don't know. 7.
Okay. Alice is on the 7 with their smart. And you start isolating. You remember this console. Like, you didn't have long to look at it, but you remember this console. You can see where, several of the shutdown elements are. Now,
Yes.
Lawson's trying to still keep you away, but in fact, you start seeing Lawson reaching for their own weapon.
No.
Okay. Lawson marks 10. And is basically reaching for what looks to be an energy weapon of some kind. Not the rifles, but something a little more personal.
I don't love that. Well, my list is not loading, so that's super. I think I am going to use arrogant, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try and taunt Lawson about like not accepting their proposal because it was bad and terrible and weak.
Got it. So you are just basically goading the hell out of
I'm viciously mocking. I rolled a 7 again.
You win.
Hey, it was
You-
the mocking that did it.
It was clearly the mocking that did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me about the there is a moment where like you just start laying into Lawson and you see that they stop dodging because he's just getting pissed. Tell me about how you finally tased the shit out of this guy.
I think what it is like as I'm talking, I'm inching closer to a desk. And as I see them like getting more and more annoyed, and they like glance down, and I pick up a clipboard and just whack them over the head, and then pick up my taser and tase them.
Perfect. 100%.
I can see this very clearly in my head. I wish I could draw.
I
It's
mean,
real fun.
cinematically, I too enjoy the image of, this
Just
individual in their dirty reclaimer robes getting clubbed by a clipboard.
It's like the very fast like action movie, like clunk, clunk.
Yep, 100%. All right. So yes, you are now faced with, and you can still hear the breaker system running, but you now realize that no one else is running this thing. You can turn on and off whatever you like.
Great. I turn on the water. I turn on the protection.
Barricades?
Yeah, the barricades. The city protection that the people would be used to. If there's anything else I see that has recently been deactivated that might be useful, I will also turn that on. I want to make it as hard as possible for them to interact with Avis, but I don't think I have any control over that from here.
You can turn off the hacking job that the engineer is currently has running as a subsystem.
Sure,
But
I'll do that.
you can't secure Avis better.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do that. I'm gonna.
Alright.
Avis is my next. I'm gonna go there next. So it's.
Cool.
But I want to stop the fire and the imminent danger, hopefully, or at least some of
Yes.
it.
So as you all are, Quinn, you and Eli are the ones most likely to see it. Casey, you'll spot it a bit. But yeah, like every farm along the way suddenly just goes off in like full sprinkler mode. The irrigation systems just start soaking the place like a rainy day.
I mean, Alice doesn't know anything about farming, but figures that as long as it's fairly controlled, it's not gonna do any harm and like flood things.
Oh, yeah.
So,
No, and
probably
honestly,
it's
in
fine.
this situation, so what if it gets soaked for a bit? I just picture
Yeah.
like Alice turning it all the way up to 11. Why not?
I mean, if
More
it's
water
muddy,
is more.
if it's all muddy and stuff, it's harder for them to sneak into town.
Mhm.
You're
Right.
welcome, Quinn.
Yeah. All right. Casey, you are headed into town. Where are you going?
I want to basically be warning everybody, like every single person I see, that they're basically on our borders, be on high alert. If anyone has already set up traps or anything, man those. Anyone at lookout posts, man those. Just basically everybody, massive red alert.
Okay. So you're Paul revering this at this point. You're running through of they're here, like it's time for the plan. All right. You see people start coming out of their homes and paying attention. They are mostly grabbing again the physical weapons, things that are blades, but you do notice a couple of them are picking up the pulse rifles that you've brought. Uh, Again, none too sure, but now is a time of crisis, and crisis will drive people to things that they are otherwise deeply taboo,
Mm.
and just hope that they and their families come out of it okay. Where do you go from there?
Well, once everyone's warned, I would probably want to check out Alice because we only kind of heard a yell of "Okay, blah blah blah." I was like,
You hear Max losing it.
Okay, I go straight for Max.
Absolutely, like just
Oh,
making
yeah,
it
I forgot to tell
out.
him.
Huh?
so you're like boop 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 boop. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah. It's like Max isn't there to turn it off yet.
I guess I'll run straight for Max.
Cool. Yeah, because you hear Max like just yelling like somebody like ran over his ran over his foot.
Yeah. Dude, what's going on?
Oh, Lawson, the fucker turned. Oh, I've used up the one. Whoops. Like Lawson, turned off the security system. Your friend told me to. And the voice lowers of your friend told me to keep making noise out here until they fixed it.
All right. I also bang
You
on the door.
We're banging on the door. Perfect.
You're going to get your turducken stuffing if you don't come out.
Why are you here anyway? And the conversation starts between the yelling.
So you're like, I was looking for Alice actually, so if she needs help, yeah, I'll help.
Awesome. You open the door for
Eventually,
these two people.
I probably will eventually remember to go get them and that I left Max outside.
Perfect. 100%.
I mean, I could probably hear him realistically.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was about to say, at the volume level that they were attempting to run as a distraction, you recognize Casey has arrived.
Sure. And I think Alice literally just goes, "Oh yeah," and goes to the door.
So the door opens and you see Engineer Lawson collapse on the ground, the taser wire or the taser signal sticking out, and just
Hey, the good old taser plan.
taser plan. And Max just
Shout
stares
out.
in surprise for a second, and then just hauls back and kicks her in the ribs real hard.
Yeah, we should probably tie her up.
Oh, I know all the storage stuff in this building, because it does another smaller kick of because it's they're a shitty boss, and it's I will handle this. What's going on? Do we know where they are?
Do I know where they are? I have monitoring equipment, right?
You have an understanding of areas of town that are seeing destruction or activity. You know, again, that signal tracking is at the other reclaimer site. That's where communication is. That's where monitoring is. This is infrastructure.
I'm trying. So I will fill.
You can do one thing though.
What?
You can cut power to that compound. Now, cutting power will mean that you won't have the equipment there when you get there, but you can definitely cut power.
I'm really tempted to do that and just ruin this man's day.
Gotta love infrastructure.
I will repeat all of this to Casey, along with saying that I know that Avis is currently under attack. I was able to stop the hacking program that Lawson was doing, but they're gonna want to get in there, right? So the real question is do we want to get control of the communications equipment before I turn it off, or do we want to go try and help Avis stay?
Well, if we maintain Avis, we can maintain our threat that we have the boom stuff.
That's true. Do I have a sense of how much progress they've made with Avis?
From what you're seeing the hacking systems that were being used, and you are also seeing that you have reestablished at least several of the tunnel systems that you've already dealt with. You are seeing that has now been turned back on, and so there is a likelihood that the security was, while it was down, being used for some sort of infiltration into the base.
But I don't know that if there's anyone in there.
You don't know.
We should maybe go to the base.
Is there anything here we're able to take with us? Is there any maybe I need a taser? Maybe there's smoke bomb
there was
stuff.
The personal energy weapon that Alice, you saw Lawson reaching for.
Yeah, Lawson had a weapon. I don't know what it is, but Lawson had a weapon.
Okay, I'll take it and pretend I know what I'm doing.
Gotta love it. Okay, so Max is basically like dragging off of the. It's like, you want to go or you want to wait for me?
I mean, we can wait for you. Are you just putting this person in a closet?
Yeah, absolutely. Just shoving them in a
Sure.
closet.
Yeah,
Yes.
put a
Okay.
bar on it.
Yep. And so then in that case, you all are preparing to rush back to the base, and Quinn, you and Eli are making it into town. There is you see that Casey has been successful. The town is starting to mobilize, and you hear people that are going to like basically get they they're going to get the mayor. Um, because of course they expect that she will be able to give them direction of some kind, like she's been preparing to. And the person who approaches the mayor's office, there is a bolt of energy that blasts out, and you see a townsperson just immediately drop, and everybody dives for cover from the town set from the town square.
Uh, and like as soon as Quinn sees this, it's like weapon back up, uh, running as quick as you can while like keeping your weapon trained on the door. And
What do you
when
Go ahead.
she gets to the door, she's gonna yell, um, "Whoever's in there, come put your weapon down and come out now."
You don't hear a reply from the person, but you hear Mayor Davis. Um, like, I'm trying to keep them out, but they're going to get through this door in a second.
In which case Quinn's gonna jump or run into the building like if the mayor
Okay.
needs help.
All right. Eli follows. And as you are, because you're at least used to these ruins at this point, the various uh, office and areas that took made up this compound, and as you circle through, you end up seeing somebody in the shadows with you, who is looking for a way in themselves, and you recognize not the person but the description. When Patling was giving a description of the person that they were looking for, it was this person. You're seeing a girl, dark hair, um, basically slipping through and looking for an opening because she doesn't know it as well as you. But she has a very nasty looking weapon on her.
When Pat Lane gave us the name or gave us the description, did she give us a name?
She did not give a name.
Okay.
They specifically, it's like, did you see? Have you seen a girl looks like this? Tell her I miss her.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's Quinn's going to you know put her weapon in that direction and yell freeze.
There's a point where she stops. She turns and looks at you and raises her hands as if that she is surrendering, and then there is a quick movement where she is basically throwing a knife at you and diving for cover.
Okay. Quinn's obviously going to get out of the way of the knife.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you can hear the fighting and the pushing of soldiers on the other side from what you assume is the group that's trying to batter into the mayor's office. And this, individual, just immediately you can feel like they are trying to get around to deal with either you or continue the original mission. They are basically a sneak attack of some kind. You don't know if they're coming for you or the mayor right now, but you see that Eli is basically getting ready to rush to the mayor's aid on the other side because he is listening to her in danger. It's like, I can handle this if you want to deal with them.
Yeah. Um, okay. That's a good plan. Um,
Okay.
and
I'll see.
Quinn's.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Quinn's going to wants to yell like into the void so they can hear him. By the way, Pat Lane's looking for you. Supposed to pass you a message that she misses you.
There is uh kind of a I'm trying to remember if he was actually in that scene. Yeah, I was about to say you all took Eli those tunnels. So you hear like kind of a well shit sound from Eli. It's like I'll I'll see you on the other side, and like kisses Quinn on the cheek and then runs for the soldiers. And from the shadows there is a what the hell did you just say? As literally not even a question of cover, the 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 girl steps out and like has a weapon clear leveled at you at this point.
Yeah. As soon as she steps out, like Quinn's like they're both pointing weapons at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Quinn's like, I said, Pat Lane says she misses you.
What do you know about them?
Refresh my memory. We ran into Pat Lane in the elevator, right?
Patlin was guarding the elevator. Patlin was leading the couriers that fled the base instead of staying in town.
Okay, yep, that's what I thought. Chance meeting in an elevator?
You're lying.
Not.
I have to go do my job.
And what's your job?
I have to get control of this town again. You did this. You're the reason I can't be with them.
I'm not the one who gave you the order.
What am I supposed to do? Tell them no?
I'd like to stand up.
Okay. All right. The authority is going to mark 4 as Grace, which is her name, starts basically kind of losing it a little of the we're not all privileged enough to get to actually allow them to threaten people that we care about. Some of us have more to lose than you. What is your hope, please?
My hope is to convince her that like she doesn't need to join us, but like her and Pat Lane can be safe together, and like you don't have to do, convince her that like she doesn't need to be here to keep Pat Lane safe.
To convince her to walk away from the mission.
Yeah.
Okay. Authority's objective is for her to complete her mission and kill the mayor. Okay. The authority has marked 4.
All right. Quinn looks at her and says, I didn't send you here. I didn't ask for any of that. I didn't want I didn't want them to chase us through the forest. I didn't want any of that. But we're here now. We've all made choices, and they're the ones who made the choice to tell you to leave Pat Lane and stay here. But you can make the choice to go back to her. You can keep her safe.
What do you roll?
I roll a 6.
Okay. Got it. And what are you using?
Smart.
You're smart. Very good. All right. And you can see that your words are definitely shaking Grace. And she's like, you think I want to be a killer? You think that's, the whole plan, to be like top of your class in scouts, and then you get to go be an assassin. Big, you know, not what I wanted. Why did you have to do this?
Did this because everything they've ever told us is a lie. I'm here because I wanted more. Because I don't. Scout wasn't just a job, it was something that I loved, but I don't like being told what I'm allowed to discover when I'm out in the woods. I did this because I don't want to have to be told that I'm should assassinate somebody.
Go ahead and roll.
8.
Okay. What are you using?
Wilderness Scout.
Okay.
Pulling on those threads of like we're both
We both don't want to do this.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Grace is on 9. And I can't walk away. Where am I going to go? We can't. I don't even know if they'll take me back.
The Reclaimers are Pat Lane.
Well, if I don't kill the mayor, the Reclaimers. If I do kill the mayor, Patlin. So you see my problem here.
I do. Look, you don't have to go back to the Reclaimers. They told us we couldn't survive out there on our own. We couldn't do all of these things. That without them, we wouldn't have the supplies and the things. Uh, but we've managed without them. We've cut them off, and we've managed to get the things that we've needed to keep people healthy and alive. We did that without them.
Roll for it.
I rolled 9.
Okay. So we are, as you have overlapped the authority, we are left with, do you allow her to, if you do not do something different, she will jump into the shadows after a hard struggle and go to complete her mission.
I'm gonna sell out.
Okay. What are you selling out?
I think I am going to sell out Wilderness Scout.
I see. Okay. Wilderness Scout is going to sell out to Isolation because you mark that as your sellout spec.
Yep.
Okay. And I will mark that on your sheet and open that back up. There you go. Okay. So Quinn is facing down this girl who is in her own intense struggle. And having said, I didn't want to be this either, or, I wanted to be a scout, I wanted to be free. What do you say that finally drives her off from this mission and pushes her to run?
There are so many wondrous things. I've recently learned that there's people and places beyond the borders of what the Reclaimers have told us exists. It's all out there for you to discover, and you can do that with Pat Lane. And I think the best part of that is you can look Pat Lane in the eyes when you're doing that and you're looking at beautiful views and know that you didn't kill somebody.
And Grace swallows hard and stares at you and finally nods. And she rushes off, just bolts past you out of the ruins, and she's fast. She's good at what she does. She could have done exactly what her plan was. And you don't have long to think about it because you hear the fighting for the soldiers at the other side of the door and you rush off to help Eli. And with that, we'll go ahead and take our break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to continue the fight. Remember that you cannot fight the authority if you haven't had your meds or enough water. So while we're gone, grab a snack, get a drink, stretch. And if you want to take a second to subscribe to our Twitch channel, the YouTube channel, it'd be much appreciated. But come back in 10 because there's still plenty of fight left in us.
Three.
Welcome back to Girls Run These Worlds and our Misspent series, Misspent Youth series. My goodness, Y2K Youth to Control. Let's get back to it. All right, Quinn, you rush forward and you see Eli like just slugging it out with the soldiers that are remaining. To the fact that you know again, strong farm boy. Somebody has literally just been like picked up and shoved into a wall. He has, in fact, enacted the plan of hit an MF with another MF. And so, yeah. While there is, still some trouble coming from his left side, which you have the pulse rifle, you handle that, actually pretty quick. Uh, but yeah, there's finally at the end, there's a squad of 4 reclaimers soldiers, an armed civil force with the symbol on their armor collapsed on the ground. And Eli will basically like tap on the door and say, Mayor Davis, they're gone or they're handled, but you need to find somewhere safer because they're after you. She opens the door and it's like, I need to be with the people. I need to be out there. We have to go. And so she'll exit and basically head out and start giving orders for town defense to the people that are, gathered up and ready to defend Haven's Reach.
If the mayor's going to insist to be like, giving orders and helping and stuff, Quinn would like to grab 2 people with pulse rifles and put them on bodyguard duty for the mayor.
Okay. So yeah, you see 2 people that are, again, uncomfortably, but you prefer you like their grip better than anybody else holding the darn things. And we're like, people have already tried to kill the mayor. Watch out for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, you take a second because at this point you are aware of the fact that you are missing the rest of your team. Do you go to find them or do you go to deal with another part of the problem? Because you can stay on your own and that's fine. You did just pick up isolation.
Yeah, actually, I think Quinn is going to stay on her own. She's going to. I think this is like, I'm going to trust that they knew what they're doing, and
Okay.
I might not be able to help wherever they're going, but I can help up here. So.
Okay. Then we're going to say, unless you tell me otherwise, that Quinn is going to lead several people off to an area that is probably, if you were going to lead an area into town over on the other side, this is where you think a good insertion point is. And so you're going to go try and block off some of the attackers heading in from the opposite side of town.
Sounds perfect.
Okay. Alice, Casey, we are back to you, and you are heading down towards the base. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're gonna help
Do you
Avis.
want to go mess with Ramirez? Which do you want?
I think we need to help Avis. I think that has to be our priority.
Okay. So you know that there is the tunnel system out on the other end, and there is also the elevator. How are you planning to get to the base?
Hmm.
Didn't I disable the elevator?
No,
I
you
locked
turned
down
everything.
the
Oh! When you got up? No, because you've been
Yeah.
using it back and forth to get to the
Oh,
to get to
Yeah,
Avis
once we
for weeks.
okay. I mean, they're gonna try both. The elevators, I'm a tiny bit concerned about because while I should have access to them if Avis hasn't been compromised, it is a lot easier to murder us in an elevator than in a tunnel.
that's fair.
All right.
So I'm gonna
Casey,
say tunnel.
Okay, Casey, you know how to get to the tunnels. You know it is several hours out into the woods, so you need to hurry and/or, you know, Marshall Garrett's not using that truck right
I
now.
was just
It's a
thinking
dark spot,
maybe,
but have at.
yeah, maybe I learned a little bit from Max. I got this.
Oh
Let's
yeah, Max would have
go.
totally like just, been like, "Hey, you want to drive?" And it'll be
Oh
a whole
yeah.
thing. There's a flashback of the two of you tearing through somebody's crops accidentally.
Yep.
All right. So yes, now you. No, you have Max with you. You have the keys. Because I was like, how do you get the keys? Wait, you have Max with you. Max has the keys. So yeah, you all run for the truck, and it is a messy path, especially when you're going through the areas that are now muddy on the way out of town. But small penalty. But you are tearing through trees. This truck is getting because Max isn't trying. Or wait, are you driving or are Max driving? I have a question.
Mm. It might be fun if I'm driving.
Excellent, wonderful. So you
Full
tell me,
throttle.
can Casey drive? Wonderful. So Casey, I'm assuming that Casey is not being the gentlest with this truck. You're in a
Nope. I'm
hurry.
just like, hope nobody has sciatica because it's going to be very bumpy.
Ooh, that was a stump. You just rolled straight over a stump at high speed. Fabulous.
Woo!
Alice, I'm so sorry. Like Max and Casey seem to be having like a them Duke boys like adventure, and you are just here hanging on.
I mean,
The ocean handle is getting full use.
they're having a great time. I'm very happy.
Excellent. Oh yeah, you're happy for them. Wonderful. Okay, so it is much faster than walking, that's for sure. Though you are pretty positive you've knocked a filling loose. And you are soon probably now I think Quinn's on her own for a while. You are about a half an hour of hauling through the woods, but you are at the tunnels.
All right.
And you absolutely see that there is another sign of another squad that's come through here, and they are far less subtle than Vance was. Like there is just the mud is churned up, and they have headed in.
I have my taser.
Got a
Take
gun.
time.
Do I know how many are usually in a squad?
The couriers had 6.
Okay. Let's go.
But you also know once you're in these tunnels that you are having less jamming and interference. In fact, the further you got from town, the less jamming and interference.
Well, we also know these tunnels, which I'm assuming that not all of them do. So
You are
Yeah.
correct.
hopefully that will give us a slight advantage.
So we'll go in. Max can stay with the car and hide the car.
Mhm.
That way, if anything bad comes out, ram him with the car.
Yeah, no, and Max definitely doesn't want to stay with the car until you say those words, at which point Max is totally cool with staying with the car.
So last thing we need is them running out and taking the car. But if they run out and you're in the car, you can be like, gah!
Max just like, you're right. When you're right, you're right. You're totally right, dude. Ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
And the
fist
two
bump.
of you, well,
Fist
yeah,
bump for good luck.
absolute. Like, just fist bump, and then there's just an angry roar of just revving the engine, just because they like it.
Yeah,
More power to you.
keep that beast purring. We'll be back.
Okay.
Now that we've entertained the Duke boys in their dead man's truck, you you head into the tunnels.
Yep.
Okay,
So we
so
should.
you are shoving through. Are you trying to get to Avis's control center immediately, or is there another part of the base you want?
I mean, I guess the control center is probably where they want to go, right? So I would probably want to go there first, unless Casey has another idea.
The most I can think of is if we're inside and you're at least able to connect up to the basic systems to start maybe using them as like diversions or distractions to lock off
Sure.
areas.
I mean, as soon as I can get in, I'm assuming I will have more access. I can like set off a. I mean, we did previously get people out by just initiating a lockdown. Um, so we can start causing mayhem as we approach. But do I hear like is Avis in distress or anything at the moment?
Avis is not distressed, but Avis is very busy in that way that you've noticed that Avis gets when it is trying to handle a lot of things at once. Because again,
Okay.
the human brain that is the base of this AI is very flexible and can multitask a lot. But it's the same way that it's not really talking to you much because it's very busy.
I'm gonna ask if it would like to delegate anything to me or to Brenna while that is happening.
Yes, that would be very helpful. And you feel immediately that surge of data. In fact, it almost, when it hits so quickly, it almost threatens to kind of knock you off your feet for a second. And you are part of the loop. You are part of the link that is Avis and Brenna and you forming some incredibly strong mechanical mind.
Okay. Um, I think you see like Alice just kind of like blink for a minute.
All right.
Um, well, I'm helping, I think. So let's, unless Avis has anything in particular that it needs my brain to do, let's keep going.
You're
All right.
walking, and it's not that Avis has something that it needs you to do, but it's like you're all sharing information at the same time. And
Sure.
so you are aware, because you are the base now, that the squad is out at one of the eastern entrances. They came through the tunnels and they dropped down out because they don't know where the control center is. So they dropped into one of the eastern sections and is pushing forward. And you, while Avis doesn't register this individual, Avis has visual, and you register that the leader of this squad is Samson.
Okay.
And
Well,
she is just aggressively, you know, basically clearing rooms. And the minute they glance in a room and see it is not controlled, they continue on, and they are basically sweeping hard through this building.
I will communicate that. Guess who's here? Samson, who hates us. Fun. Um, now that I think about it, the list of people that hate us is quite extensive. Um,
Yeah. It's okay. We hate them right back.
can I? I guess I have to get closer in order to trap them, probably, right?
I mean, you are
Uh,
the base right now, so you can certainly do a lot of things.
I want to cause chaos. So I want to like open random doors that just like lead them off in a direction.
Okay.
I want to like keep them away from the
Maybe you can
control.
divide them up too.
That would be good.
Okay. So yeah, you when the first time that the door swings open, you see immediately one of the squad turns and fires. This group is not even going to pause for questions. They are attack first, and so they fire off, and then Samson turns around and slaps the ever loving tar out of them. It's like, do you know what sort of explosives are around? Idiots.
I want to
Just
start
disconnect the
putting.
mainframe and we can get back to the actual fighting.
So I'm imagining, and you can tell me if making this up is too far, but
Mhm.
I'm imagining that there are panels that kind of show what the rooms are, right? Like some of them are labeled. I
Mhm.
want to put up like hazardous material warnings on some of them
Okay. Yeah, you
just to like
definitely have them
ruin their
rattled.
day.
Huh?
Just to ruin their day.
Just to
This is
ruin their
just
whole day. Yeah. Look, they're having a really garbagey day anyway. Samson's been riding them for miles. Um and yeah, so they are not they are off track and you're slowing them down, but you know that they are still severely on track. You're getting
can
close
we
though. You're catching up. You're up in the tunnels, you know the fast track, so you are very shortly above them. What do you do?
the petty part of me just wants to be like that part in the movie where they start like throwing something from above to try and cause conflict between the two guards, right? Like,
Mhm.
did you kick me? I thought it was. That's what the pettiness in me wants to say. Um, can I set off like a sound in one direction to try and split them?
Yeah, absolutely. What sound do you do?
I want to do like low murmur of conversation through a speaker.
Okay. There's immediately the hand up of, Samson freezing and signaling off. First, it's two fingers, and then there's a pause, and then it's three, and half the squad heads off to check it out. Do you mess with them further? Do you seal them in, or do you just let
Yeah,
them
yeah, yeah. They're
continue to serve?
absolutely going in one of the closets or like something like that.
Okay, excellent. So we're gonna leave them to try and get their way out of the closet. Brilliant.
Um, can we get to the control room before the rest of the group?
You can. It'll be a close thing, but you can get there first.
I want to be like outside the control room, and I want to instruct Avis to seal the doors.
Okay. Are you out of the vents?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. Casey can still be the
Yeah,
vents.
if the vent is above you, I will stay up in the vent with a gun trained.
Okay. Then you hear, from the very instant that say Ava seal the doors, it is not as if Avis needs to do it. You've already done it because it's both of you. And probably about 30 seconds later, the the door to the other side of the corridor opens, and there is Samson flanked by two other guards. Apparently, another one has gone off to check something else. You didn't even do that one.
Found the
And
cayenne peppers.
there is just a sudden look of hatred.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Just hanging out, you know?
Where's the rest of your friends? Where's Az?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I'm not the boss of them.
What are you doing here?
Well, at the moment, I'm answering inane questions from you.
You know what? You're right. I don't have time for this either. And
I
starts with
stand
Mark.
up.
Yeah. I was like, I hope you say it before I finish. All right. So, yes. What is your hope for this scene?
I want to force this group out of the base.
Okay. You want to disable them or drive them out?
Drive them out. No, I want their stuff.
Okay.
well, someone here has tech that I want, and I don't know who it is.
So you want to disable them.
Disable them so I can steal their possessions.
Okay. The authorities' objective is, in this particular scene, Samson has a mission. Samson doesn't care enough about the mission, so the authorities' objective will be to injure you, Alice, because
Uh-huh.
you are the target visible.
I was trying to be just annoying enough to make that happen.
Oh no, it's great. Samson is one of those magnificent wild cards that has had a very rough couple months, and it's like has a job, but also is about to go off track.
Well, I very nearly did something like very unkind when Samson asked me where Az was, but I figured that wasn't the thing to lie about. Like, because technically, I do know where Az is, but also Az could have moved slightly.
That's true. All right. So Casey, you are watching this and you see Samson reaching for the sword at her side of the. I should have done this months ago, and the soldiers immediately power up the weapons, and the authority will mark 5.
I am going to try and. I think I want to turn the lights out.
You are sneaky.
Because considering I'm in tune with the base, probably have perception that is not linked to sight or light. That's 3.
Okay. You are sitting on 3. I assume you're using your sneaky, or is it something else?
I'm using sneaky. Yeah, that's
Okay,
my
got it.
sneaky.
Okay. The lights go out, and Samson immediately starts basically barking the orders of spread out, hand to the wall, keep trained forward. We know that she's ahead of us. And I will mark 7.
All right. I'll stand up from up in the rafters, so I'm not actually standing, but I'm metaphorically standing up.
Do it.
And yeah, I had the gun completely trained. I was looking for a spot like towards feet, the floor, or even on like the sides of the walls. Trying to not necessarily like kill anybody, but to scare or whatever. Oh no. I landed on 7.
Okay. Kid gloves only works for the first roll, which was Alice's. So
Yeah.
at that point, the win condition for the authority will activate.
I will sell out.
It is not yours to do so.
Oh, I can't sell out. I will always sell out, though.
I will sell out.
Okay. Always remember you don't have to, but if you want to, you can.
I don't want to see Alice injured.
Okay.
And that looked like it was their goal to me, and they have weapons.
It's just a light stabbing. It's fine.
I mean, I understand. You've already lost 2 friends. Can you handle a third?
No, Casey cannot. He's going to sell out his optimism.
Oh, honey. All right.
Oh, that's so sad, though.
That is.
He's been fidgety about having lost, having to leave behind Axe, because it sucks having to leave anyone behind. And then now Lex is gone, and he's seeing these people march on Alice with intention, at least to me, looks like immense harm. And I've already seen that happen before. We're no longer dealing with people I can reason with, that I can reach. This isn't a good situation. So instead of just firing the gun, I try and like push in any sort of energy or battery cell to try and get it to almost discharge and chuck it down. So when it slams, it breaks and creates a bit of explosion amongst them.
Absolutely. You haul forward the energy weapon that is, at this point, dangerously unstable. In fact, the fact that you cracked that battery and didn't blow yourself up, it was only because you'd been working with these things for several weeks. In the darkness, there is just a huge energy discharge, and there is the sound of pained cries, and then the thuds of armor hitting the ground, and a sword clattering across the ground. And
Alex?
Alice, that there is no one left standing in this hallway besides you.
I turn the lights back on.
Okay.
And I come down from the rafters. Alice, are you okay?
That was so cool.
It was definitely a little bit risky, but I'm glad it worked out. And I look over to the bodies. Did I actually kill them?
I don't know. Let's find out. Did I will not voice it immediately, but am I able to tell if they're dead or not?
You have no, not really, because you have heat sensors, and it takes a while for somebody to cool, so you're not positive.
Can I go over to them and like feel for a pulse?
Sure. I mean, you said you wanted to loot them, so I assumed you were going to touch them eventually.
Yeah, I want to see how alive they are as well.
Yes, they are. They are unconscious. They are injured. So while they are not dead, these people are definitely like, you see the burns across, like they are injured.
They're not dead, but probably won't be super happy with their condition when they wake up.
They will have to rethink life choices then.
I mean, I don't disagree on that point.
Is there any like carts in here? Maybe we can throw them all into the cart, ease them out into the woods, and let life happen.
I mean,
I'm sure they'll find a way, but
life finds a way. I mean, can we like? I don't know. I didn't really think about. We could always put them in the elevator.
yeah, well, there should be carts because they were carting out the supplies before, so I can grab one of
That's
those,
true.
throw them on the cart, take them up the elevator, let the cart go down the street, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. I think that does actually come out at the mayor's place, so we could just kind of unload them there.
Prisoners of war. All right.
Sure.
Okay, so is this the plan? Are you loading them all up onto one of the cargo carts?
Well, we can't carry them down the tunnels. I think this is a much more reasonable plan.
I'm not judging your plan. I'm just checking it.
Yeah, well,
Let's be clear.
as we loot them for whatever tech they may have, like we all pat them down, make sure they're tied up so they can't like fight back if they come to. Not going to be necessarily violent.
Yeah, give or take taking the damage to a couple pieces due to your explosion. You now have armor, several pieces of armor that you can use.
Sweet.
You have their weapons, which similar to yours, because this is what was being exported from this military site to begin with. And you also find like communication systems that do not seem to be affected by the jamming.
That's good. Do they have a teleporter?
They do not.
Okay.
If Samson had a teleporter, she'd have been here a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, with that communicate of theirs, we can definitely mess with the others, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna take that sword. We know who should be given that sword.
Ooh, that'll get personal. Excellent. You have Samson's sword. Awesome. And thusly having robbed them of their stuff, you send them up the elevator?
Yeah, I'll take him up. Alice, I assume you need to do things down here. Make sure Avis is okay.
Sure, I guess I'll do like a diagnostic to make sure that there's nothing that I hate in this system.
You see that again. You've done really good work blocking off the attack that was coming from Lawson. You are now aware, that you can reinstate the security elements that Avis was currently busy not being able to do because Avis was defending itself. So yeah, you are able to reestablish all of this. You do realize that you're having a little trouble disconnecting, and you feel like as you leave the area, there's still going to be a part of your brain that's busy cycling information.
That's probably fine. I don't need to worry about that.
I'm not using that part. I mean, you are using that part. You're just overclocking it. All right, excellent. Do you all head up the elevator with them?
Yeah.
So yeah, you arrive and you see town is in the midst of like full defensive mode. The mayor is gathered with several citizens. Several of them have pulse rifles, to the best of their ability. Um, and you wheel out this cart with these disabled soldiers. Oh, before we do that, I've just remembered. What do you do with the ones in the closet?
I can stay
Can
there for
I,
a little
like-
bit, right?
I mean, I feel like I should let them out. I wanted, like, I mean, if I need to roll for this, I can. But I want to just, like, put the fear in them and tell them that they are prisoners now, and I have Samson, and I will have Casey brandish the sword.
100%.
And-
Got it. Yeah, no. You only have to roll for the struggle. So right now, I mean, we'll have a discussion, but I am totally on board with you demonstrating that you have incapacitated most of their squad and that they are now prisoners that are being delivered into town custody. Sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. Also, once you just make a dirty look at them and all of the lights start flickering and the whole building does an entire possessed haunting maneuver, they're more inclined to do what you want.
Sure.
100%.
I
So
am
yeah,
the
you arrive
night
at the surface
expert.
and you march out like three individuals that are, in surrender mode and some looted, injured people, and town immediately reacts and just starts gathering them up and, you know, securing these people properly. Uh are you okay?
Yeah, we weren't hurt.
Okay.
Casey did like the coolest thing with like an explosion. It was very cool.
All right. Your friend headed out to the eastern border. I think I'm not entirely sure, but they were taking several citizens with them, so she went that way.
Guess we can catch up.
Sure.
You can,
Or-
or you still have Ramirez in town. Your call, you magnificent nerds.
Do we want to take care of Ramirez first? Or do we wanna go
Probably
straight-
anyone that has like a voice for reclaimers we may want to take down, because then anyone that's been following them might be able to convince them to stand down.
Well, I'm wondering if the communication stuff we got plus the stuff in Ramirez's office might be able to help us spread word or something. I guess we should go to Ramirez first and then meet up with Quinn.
All right.
So you head off to the compound. Interestingly enough, they're in the same direction because Ramirez was on the eastern side of town. So you're headed at least in the right direction. And yes, you have a working communicator. You kind of have a theory about what hub it's running through, in fact.
Sure. That makes a certain amount of sense. I mean, I could still just turn off all of the systems, but then we wouldn't be able to use them, so that's not ideal.
That's fair. I have a very special question before I switch back over to Quinn, which is, do you get on the comms and taunt the guy?
I mean, Alice. If it's up to Alice, the answer is yes. The question is whether
Casey would egg this on.
Okay.
Taught
What?
the ever loving duckins out of him.
Excellent. So you click on the mic and you say what to Overseer Ramirez?
Knock knock.
Perfect. All right, and we will flash away to Quinn. Quinn and Eli, you are headed out to, like you said, you knew of a place that, if you were going to do this, this is how you would do it. And you have a few of the citizens of Haven's Reach with you, and it's kind of, I don't even know if it has time to really like settle in your mind, but like they are following you. You are you're an ex-scout from over the mountains, and they are following you like you are in charge. And Eli's just as much like you are the trusted figure here, and you are headed through a pass, and you see someone in the distance, and they are not even trying to hide. They are just standing and waiting, and you realize it's Bernard. And you hear the sound of the weapons powering up behind you.
Quinn stops, glances at Eli, and glances back at Bernard, and then says, "All right,
Hey, kid.
hey, why are you here?
Why did you leave?
Better things to do?"
You know, this isn't going to end pretty. They're already into town.
Are they? I mean, I met some of them. We chased him back into the woods.
Well, I mean, you make a fair point. They're terrible at following directions, but I told them every path I could find. Probably even a few you don't know. And then I figured I'd wait here and see who showed up.
That's pretty cocky of you. I mean, I've had weeks to study the terrain. To think that you've found spots that I haven't.
You're good, Quinn. You were one of my best. But you didn't stay and learn everything. I figured you'd be the one to show up, though. It was going to be you or Casey.
That's fair. On the
How they
who's
doing?
going to show up. I'm sorry, what was that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's fair on who's going to show up, but I think you underestimate how much I know or how good I am.
No, you crossed mountains and multiple rivers. Quinn, what'd you see? You wanted to see the world, Quinn. You always did. What'd you find out here?
The world's always what I thought it was. Beautiful, expansive, and a lot that the reclaimers can't control.
You're never gonna get home, you know.
Quinn puts out her arms and like looks around. This is where I want to be. This is home. That's why I left. You'll never, maybe you won't understand that, but I never wanted to be told where I could go or what I could discover or what I could explore. I just wanted to explore.
Me telling you things is how you got as good as you are. You wouldn't have managed any of this without me. And you could learn more if you just got past this damn stubborn streak. And you see that Eli's probably about to start a fight with this guy. As well as the people that are waiting for your command of what to do with him.
Yeah.
If you could just get past this damn stubborn streak and admit that you actually need to learn more things.
Yeah. You are the second person in like 2 weeks to tell me what I need to learn, that I don't know enough, that I can't do this. And I proved them wrong, and I'm going to prove you wrong. And I'm going to stand up.
Okay. What is your win condition?
Uh, she wants to. Her win condition is to show up Bernard, right? Like she wants to embarrass Bernard, prove
Okay.
that she's better.
Got it. So you want to place doubt in Bernard. Okay. We are going to just return that back. Bernard wants to place doubt in Quinn. All right. Bernard is going to start with 6 for the authority.
Quinn is going to specifically give the order to Eli because they've been like working together with the guns and stuff to like flank Bernard and stuff, like make sure your weapons are always trained on him. He's not going anywhere.
Eli immediately nods and starts shifting off to a flanking position. Bernard looks and is like, you made friends. You lose your old ones. And we'll mark an 8.
Bernard, I know you were never good at making friends. It's why you need a leadership position. But I'm actually pretty good at it. I didn't have to lose any friends to make new ones.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 7.
You rolled
7.
Okay. What are you using?
Let me look at my character sheet. You know what? I'm going to use Vane for that one.
Sure. Vane works fine. And Bernard, you can see the way that his eyes move. That again, he's never been a stupid man. He's checking out the different areas. He probably has stood here doing so for ages. He's got a plan of some kind. It's just a matter of what. And it's like, it's not all about you. It's never all about you. You want to see the world, but you've missed the big picture. And he's going to mark 4.
You're right. It's not just about me. It's about Casey. It's about Alice. It's about them getting to be free. It's about Eli getting away from your lies. His mother being safe to do the things that she wants to do and not having the reclaimers dangle her health in her as a form of in front of her as a form of control. It isn't just about my freedom, but my freedom means to me these people also getting to live the lives they want to live. Nine.
What are you putting on 9?
Smart.
Okay. No, God. No, I need you. Come back, guy. There we go. Haha. I rolled a 7. Good job. Based on that, Quinn wins, and you see that Bernard is caught by your words. Not so much as to admit that you're right, that for the length of time that you've known him, Quinn, that's going to be a hell of a lot longer than one conversation. But it's long enough for Eli to put the pistol or to put the rifle right at his back.
Yeah.
And all of those plans that you saw waiting to happen, he is well and truly caught.
Um, I would just like to add that like Quinn spent at least a couple of weeks mapping the whole area. So when Eli went to flank, he was there with her drawing the maps and knew like, hey, there's like 3 paths I can take that are gonna get me right up behind Bernard. So
And staring at Quinn's old mentor as the townspeople of Haven's Reach begin to like secure him as a prisoner. What does Quinn say?
you're used to being in charge, Bernard. You're gonna get to see it from the other side for a little bit. You're coming with us. And we're gonna have a chat.
Sure, kid. Show me something new. And you all begin to head into town. Alice, Casey. After the knock knock, you get a string of just vitriol back of course it's you. Of course it's you. Why should I have expected any better from those miserable? I swear.
Tell him
You
to
know what?
calm down. He should be an adult.
Our representatives are unavailable right now. Please leave a message and we'll call you back as soon as we can.
Just expletives all across the line. Are you stopping me?
Your call is
You don't
important
even
to
have to
us.
hum it. Like you could just leave it near the Brenna unit and get like Britney Spears from like an old like pre-end record track.
We need
Playing
lo-fi.
Toxic.
Are you just gonna give him a ton of lo-fi? Lovely, 100%.
No,
So
I agree,
now,
Casey, that your call is important to us. Is extremely important.
I love that this is probably not just going to Ramirez, but is like blasting across all the troop movements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
multiple squads, or those that are left, or heck, Quinn probably actually hears it coming from Bernard's equipment. This entire rundown. Excellent. So you know your friends are up to some absolute nonsense. All right. So you reach, on the other hand, the outskirts of Ramirez's compound, and you are, needless to say, super locked out. What do you do?
Okay. I want to like it's on a different network than mine. So I guess I want to I've seen these locks before, right? Are they electronic?
Wait, for what? The doors?
Yeah.
I
Or are
mean,
they
yeah,
just
because you remember when it slid open when Marshall Garrett was going in and out, that it was a electronic lock, a magnetic
okay?
lock.
It's magnetic. Okay.
Can
If
we
it's
tase the door?
So that was actually going to be my question. Is through science, I would like to use this taser to open the door.
This has been the most magnificently multi-purpose taser.
Yeah.
The multi-tool of tasers, in fact.
As an
All right.
engineer.
So you begin attempting to short out this door. Yeah, yeah. You begin attempting to short out this door, and you hear the sounds of movement inside. Some very, very loud movement, in fact. And then it's very quiet behind the door.
Probably has weapons in there. We should be careful.
You want to touch the door?
It's about 30 seconds later when a shot hits the ground near your feet.
Through the door?
No, from the roof.
Fine. Okay.
You look up and you see Ramirez, who looks, not gonna lie, a little unhinged right now.
I mean, I have ruined this man's life.
You've ruined everything, and he is now on the roof, just attempting to just rain weapons fire down on you.
Well, the taser, we've already used the taser, so I can try and tase
The
him.
taser's working. That's the thing, is you're pretty positive that you'll be able to get through that door. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
I want to knock him off the roof, but I don't know that I have a method for doing that.
Is there a rock nearby that Casey can pick up and throw?
Like Casey can certainly do some stuff.
I'm gonna be Speedy Boy, all efficient, like just grabbing and throwing stuff, being the distraction.
Casey getting that efficient rebellion on.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe parkour around, be like, I can do it.
Do you wish to stand up?
Yeah, I'll stand up.
Heck yeah. All right. What is your hope for this scene?
Knock Ramirez on their ass.
On their ass or off the roof? Two different conditions.
Off the roof with the hope they'll land on their ass.
Sure. No, I love it. Okay. Ramirez is going to have the condition to pretty much shoot Casey. As much as Alice would be a magnificent target, Casey is the problem right now.
Really hates me.
Huh?
This dude really hates me.
He really does. You know what? You make a firm argument. The authorities' objective is, in fact, to shoot Alice.
All right, I'll just be annoying mosquito here. Let's go.
I love that two different authority figures have had the objective hurt Alice.
I'm really playing that arrogant trait, and it's really working.
Just brings out the best in people.
Yeah.
Okay. we are outside of the normal number of scenes, so we're going to cycle back to the lower end of what's up. So I will mark 2.
All right. All right. I get 3.
Excellent. And you are using your efficient or something else?
Yeah. I'm running with efficient. Yeah, I'm just like scooping up anything the size of my hand, especially if it's like a solid, as I run about and try and like strike at Ramirez, whether it's their head or the gun itself, just to throw them off balance.
Excellent. Yeah, Ramirez is just trained directly on Alice of the it's like I'm going to shut your mouth forever. We're going to see what happens to a computer system when it loses half its brain.
You know, you should really be more adult about this. You're yelling at children. That's very unbecoming. What kind of example are you setting up here?
Well, what do you have? Huh?
Yeah. I got 6.
All right. What you putting on the 6?
I will do. I'll do trusted. He actually Ramirez doesn't know me yet, so they probably think maybe it's just, you know, I don't need to mess with them. They're just a kid yelling things. But I'm just like, no, seriously, like, how can you win us over if you're just acting like that? Like, yeah, you shouldn't. You need to remind you of this. Come on.
Weird, but I'll take it. So yeah, it's like you don't know because it's like, look, I don't know you, but you don't know what you're dealing with. This is a damaged person. This is a person that, you know, has things broken inside them that they fill up with machines instead of like actually fixing. And that is Ramirez, buddy. That's a 3.
Woo! I throw a final rock.
Yep. I was about to say, and so you absolutely just
As they turn it at me,
and there is straight between the eyes, bam, and there is a stumble and a cry as the last reclaimer in the city of Haven's Reach plummets like a movie villain, and just crashes to the ground. And you will tell me if Casey just killed a guy or not.
No, it wasn't intention to kill.
No, this is a
Like
player choice. I'm literally saying we're telling a story together.
I mean,
you tell me.
We didn't say how high the roof is, so it doesn't have to be that high. It can just be very annoying.
Enough to like maybe break a rib, but
Got it. Okay. So yeah, Overseer Ramirez is when you head over is just shut, like his arms in a weird position.
ooh.
He definitely smacked his head wrong, but nah, that guy ain't dead. In fact, he's probably still without actually, you know, when you keep talking and your brain's not quite there, yeah, he's still like cussing out Alice. Like that is just the program that's running right now.
They're there.
Yeah.
Okay, fudge nuts isn't very good. Let's just put you over here. There you go.
You need so many people carts in this adventure, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Or just leave him there until somebody can go get like the doctor.
He probably does need a doctor. That was quite a fall. Just I guess secure them in a box.
Okay. So yeah, and then of course, needless to say, probably a good 2 minutes after it would have been convenient for it, you hear the buzz of the magnetic lock like giving up the ghost, and the door cracks open several inches as it just sort of hangs loose now. And you have the complex.
Whoa.
You have a couple things in front of you. You have the entire communication array for the enemy and the jamming for town. What do you do? There's a real chance to put a message out. What is it going to be?
Yeah, I think I want to ask Brenna if Brenna is willing to set up like a message, like a recording of nothing that Brenna doesn't want to share, but basically what was told to us when we first met Brenna, about who she was and what happened to her. And I think Alice will add an intro, and it can be Casey's voice, it can be Alice's voice, it can be text. It could be Quinn's voice if Quinn is. I assume Quinn eventually makes her way over to us, and I don't care whose voice it is. I just want there to be like an intro saying this is what is happening here, um, and this is what has happened so far.
You hear throughout, Quinn, you hear this through like it as a beginning message again through the communicators. In fact, people in town are hearing it through old speakers, and auditory devices that were left as part of base 127's initial construct. And it is Alice's introduction, and then there is the sound of a woman's voice that is soft and sad. It says, "My name was Brenna. I existed in the time before, hundreds of years ago. I I lived and saw the world dying. We had harmed ourselves with poisons and greed, and I was told that we were going to protect them. I was told that we needed to find these sites, that we needed to find these people, and make sure that the future was safe, that we would have the things that we needed to live, to come back from the tragedies of watching the world die around us." And I believed them. I believed the reclamation operations workforce. I gave them everything. I traveled to to make sure that we would have a future. And then I saw them packing everything away and sealing it, and I heard several supervisors talking about how they plan to keep everything and make it so that we would only make sure the worthy had them, or the powerful. And I decided that I would tell them no, that I would tell everyone, and I didn't come home that night. And I don't know what happened. I'm a memory. I'm a series of memories, but I know that the logs that were left by me end that night. I know they killed me. And then they came and tried to erase all my memories and take away everything that I was. And they've lied to you. And they've lied to everyone. Don't let them keep lying. Please. And for miles, for the entire scope of Haven's Reach, for soldiers that are far from home, this message goes, and people hear the truth. Congratulations. Y2K, you have turned the tide enormously at the Battle of Haven's Reach.
Yeah.
You still have more to do, though. You have a friend that needs your help. And the Reclaimers, as much as they have lost here today, they still sit comfortable in their city. Don't you think it's time to take the message home? Very good. Thank you to our players tonight for this awesome work and for standing up. If you'll please tell us about your current projects and where we can find you out on the rest of the interwebs. Go ahead,
Hi,
Jilly.
I'm Jilly, and you can find me at Oh Look It's Jilly on most places on the internet. Casting is still open right now for a one shot of Dialect that I am running on the 29th or 30th. It's the Saturday. I don't remember which day that is. It's at 7:15 in the morning Pacific time, so I will be up bright and early. Um, but there is still space at my table for that. Dialect is a super fun game that creates a certain amount of chaos, and it's a great time. So check that out. It is linked on my Twitter. It is with D8 Dungeon, and we are raising money for Trans Lifeline. I believe that is a specific charity. Um, so check that out because I have, I think, one or two spots left at my table. Um, the other thing that I'm doing, I cannot announce that thing yet. Never mind. Um just kidding. Um I will have news about two separate things. One on Girls Run These Worlds and one elsewhere that will be coming up in the near future. I am doing Shakespeare this summer, so if you are in the Pacific Northwest and would like to see Taming of the Shrew, we've set it in the 50s. It's a grand old time. um Gender roles. Ha. I play Tranio, who is the mastermind servant. I'm just having a great time. I'm wearing a fedora and living my best life. Um and also it is 90 degrees here right now, so my brain is melting just a little bit.
You
But
handed half of it to a computer. It's fine.
it's everything is fine. I think that's all I can announce right now, but stay tuned to Twitter where I will probably have forgotten things and post about them later. Thank you and good night.
Natalie, go ahead.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name was Natalie, and you can find me most places on the internet. Ghost Candle on Twitter and Instagram, and Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. I am a variety streamer. So when I'm not here playing tabletop RPGs, I am continuing playing tabletop RPGs elsewhere, as well as solos on my own channel. Lots of things coming up. So far, the only thing that has been announced is I'll be playing with Sweet Rosie B as they announced the Silver and the Stars cast, where we're playing a Pirate Mark Borg adventure for the Tuesday nights through August, raising money for Extra Life. And yeah, we got more announcements coming very soon. Lots of things happening. So make sure you follow me to see all the fun stuffs. It's going to be great times. Yeah.
Nice. All right, Sophia.
Hi everyone. I am Sophia, also known as Nerdy Teddy. You can find me on Twitter as Nerdy Teddy, and you can find me Sunday playing Vast Grim over on Sword and Key. That is noon Central. And then I'm also one of the chancellors for Nerds with Dice, along with Abby, and we just cast a bunch of games. So starting, let's see, the 25th, we have a one shot of Sagas.
That's what the thing I forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you're in that one, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'll be quiet.
It's okay. And then starting July 29th, I'm running for a total of 10 episodes, will be Masks the Puzzle, which is going to be an table with all disabled players, run by Nox. So if you're familiar with Girls Run These Worlds, you may have seen Nox before. July 31st starts Neon Shadows, which will be August 1st goes to Kickstarter. So come check out the game on the 31st and go check out the Kickstarter on the 1st. And then August 4th is the horror one shot for Yilfi, which is a horror adventure game. And all of those are going to be a lot of fun. And we got more character casting calls coming out later. And you can hit up our creator application if you want to run a game. It is always open.
Yep. Wonderful, everybody. And I'm Abby. It has been great getting to show off this RPG and the latest edition. If you liked our game tonight, you want to have your own youthful rebellion, please consider purchasing the new Fall in Love, Not in Line book from Frag and Unicorn Games. Um, they're on Drive-Thru RPG as well as their own site, and they're a great company. Brenna the Banshee is a creation of Charday, and the further details about her can be found in the Girls Write These Worlds Zine 1 Rebirth and Beginnings. As for me, you can find me on social media places Twitter, Blue Sky. Just pick one. I'm certainly trying to be on all of them at this point because so many are on fire. At Clarion Call for my projects and random nerd girl thoughts. Please remember that the Girls Run These Worlds creator app is also always open. If you have a story you'd like to tell, we want to help you get it off the ground, and the form is in the pinned tweet at Girls Run Worlds. For example, Monday, check out Rangers of the North, a Lord of the Rings series focused on teaching Free League Publishing's One Ring 5th edition system. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, Fires of Sharn, the Forges of Eberron should have been dark years ago, and the heroes are going to make sure that they are now. If you want to ensure women and femme-centric content like this continues to get made and the women and femmes putting in the work get fairly paid for it, follow us on Twitch and Twitter. Throw us a Twitch subscription. Remember to renew your free Prime sub. Or drop us a couple of bucks on our Ko-fi. It goes to this incredible cast and the entire team that helped us get the story here for you. As a personal thank you, it has been a heck of a ride for the Y2K story. We are looking at our finale for this season next week, and we certainly hope that you come back to join us for the homecoming of Y2K. We're going to go ahead and please stick around, and we are going to go ahead and raid Fusca. So please give them a big hello or type in "I stand up" from Girls Run These Worlds. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.